Yo guys, Christian Spring Gamer, and welcome back to more Star Trek Online. Last time on Star Trek Online we did the mission, The Factory, and today we'll be doing the last mission in the Cardassian Struggle story arc, The New Link. Now, before we go into anything quite here real quick, I'd like to make mention of another system that we haven't gotten a whole lot into quite yet, and that is the trait system. Now, what is the trait system? Well, the trait system is basically kind of like, I guess to say, additional buffs that are unique to either your character's species or to whatever progress you've made in the reputation system or through lock boxes or anything. You can get them through multiple means. The most common is basically through the reputation system, although you can get them from lock boxes and whatnot. And your character starts, depending on the species of your character, you start with a basic set of traits that you can slot into these things right here, and they'll give you buffs. They'll increase the damage. Those are things like increase the damage to your kits. They will make your ship more resistant to certain types of damage. They will allow your character to heal faster in or out of combat. They do a whole lot of things, and they're very important to have if you're very competitive, especially if you're doing competitive PvP. Everybody who does competitive PvP will have a specific set out trait set that they think will get them the win. And again, when you first start, you are given a basic set. Now that we're captain, it would be a good idea to go over this because we're about to get, once the Cardassian Struggle story arc is over, things are going to get a whole lot harder from this point forward, and you're going to be wise to be able to slot out your traits as needed. So going through here, there are a few ones that I would like to make mention of. Peak health. Peak health is good because it's a toxic damage resistant and also allows for bonus hit points. And to slot one, you either just drag and drop it here, or check the trait trait activation box here, and it will just basically slot it as it sees fit. Natural immunities will is another good one. If your character is particularly vulnerable to radiation and toxic damage, not all character. The only real species that is really kind of into that thing is Alachi and Breen. Their attacks tend to inflict a lot of radiation and toxic damage, because for some strange reason, cryo is considered toxic as far as last I checked. But once you get started into more Breen territory, which we will relatively soon, this is a good immunity to have. Physical strength. Now, a type of damage that people don't use often enough, but is actually surprisingly effective at taking down enemies, is melee damage. Now, melee damage, in general, will ignore shields mostly. They ignore more shields than energy weapons do. And that means if you feel you're comfortable getting up close and personal with the enemy with a melee weapon, you will do more damage to their normal hit points by ignoring their shields more than an energy weapon would. And they can, in many cases, can take down enemies faster. Again, you have to be up close, up in their grill to do that, but it can be an effective means. And you can increase the damage that your weapons do by using the physical strength trait. Basically any species will have this trait basic. Before I get any further, there's actually the details section here. It basically details your species-specific trait, which is basically a trait that is exclusive to the specific species you are playing as. In this case, Stu is a Cation, so it makes it easy. His trait is it makes it easier to detect stealthy opponents. It has a chance to dodge and half damage of all attacks. Also increases your jump height. Now, if the Klingon equivalent to the Cation, the Frisians, I don't know how to pronounce it. Basically has the exact same ability. They're good at detecting, although in the case of the Frisians, rather, they're better at staying stealthy rather than detect people who are stealthy. Where Cations are better to detect them. So when you're choosing your character, and I know I probably should have mentioned this being a game, but I was dumb and inexperienced back then. When you're choosing your character, they don't tell you a whole lot, if anything, about the traits. You're just gonna have to play it by wind and see what happens after that. Because every species has their own unique set of traits that you can use. You can gather more through multiple means, obviously. But back to the main topic at hand. Pounce is exclusive to Cations. Close and attack. I'm actually unfamiliar with what that does. It's basically a trait that gives you another ability on the ground that basically pounces on the enemy and does a little bit of damage. It has a very high chance to knock back, though. Where a normal melee weapon already has a pretty high chance to knock back, about 60% at the least. This has an 80% chance. So you can really mess up the enemy by using this weapon or using this ability. Resilient is another good one you're also going to want to have because it increases the damage or decreases the damage dealt by physical and energy types. Rifle training, my most favorite type of weapon, happens to be a rifle, so I'll slot that. Situational awareness. Grenades can expose foes. That could be useful, but I don't use grenades as often as I like, and I don't really make much use of expose and exploit attacks as I should, so I can keep that off. Strike team specialist. Attacking targets gives crit chance. That can be useful if your critical chance is low in general. Generally, really, traits are kind of the best way to increase stats that are generally low to begin with. But I'm not going to use that one. Stubborn. Resist, hold, snare, and placate. That one is interesting, but not enough enemies hold, resist, or snare and placate at all to begin with, so it's not really useful. Physical damage, resist. Trying to think here. We're not going to be able to encounter a whole lot of enemies that deal physical damage specifically or almost exclusively. So it's not really good use to have that. Teamwork, however, is a good one you're going to want to slot. Teamwork increases the exploit damage based on your team. Basically, the entire team increases the amount of damage that they output when they use an exploit attack. Very useful. I mean, exploit attacks already have the ability to vaporize on spot, but that increases even more. And field technician is one I'm going to want to slot, and creative, basically to increase the effectiveness of my kits. Now, for space traits, they are basically the exact same thing in terms of fundamentals as the ground traits, basically just directing to space. Beam weapon training is one I'm going to want. Bulkhead technician to increase hit points. Elusive to increase defense. Fleet coordinator is sorry about that. Fleet coordinator is good if you're doing TFOs a lot, where basically the amount of damage that you deal is based on team size. So the more people on your team, the more damage you will deal. Very useful for that, but we're doing this solo, so it's not going to be important. Impact defense specialist, kinetic physical resists. If your ship, if you think that your shields go down particularly too fast and you're getting walloped by torpedoes all the time, then this is a good thing for you. As for all the other ones, projectile damage, you're going to want that. Outgoing shield healing and shield technicians, which you're also going to have. And thrill seeker, well, that can help too because that will also increase help in the elusive part in keeping things going good. All right, so these last ones, these are only applicable for starship traits if you have all unlocked them already through starship mastery, and reputation traits. In order to acquire these other three, you must be at certain tiers and in any of the reputation systems apart from event. Event does not apply. It does not unless there's a specific event for the event reputation that specifically applies one. You do not get them from the event reputation, but everything else from there will give you traits, and you must move through reputation systems to get them. They cannot be acquired through any other means. That's why they're called reputation traits. But other than that, that should be all what we need to go over for the traits for now. So other than that, I guess let's start the new link.
Naaman has decrypted the coordinates for the new link. They designate a location in the Alpha Quadrant, in the Orion system. This changeling, named Loss, has deceived the other changelings in his link into thinking we are exterminating them, and that we massacred the Gamma Quadrant changelings as well. You must have Naaman help you convince them of the truth.
Okay, so we get some kind of interesting weapons, resonating Tetron beams, basically just Tetron beams with a little more kick to them.
How can I help you?
All right, I guess with that, go to the Orion 3 system. I'm going to transfer up there immediately.
Betrayal wears a familiar face, as infiltrators from other dimensions attempt to establish a foothold in the Bajor sector. Will the wormhole lead to the other side of the mirror? Only the prophets know what can restore the walls between worlds.
Nice to hear Leonard Nimoy again after so long. All right, begin the new link. You arrive in the Rise system. There's an M-class planet ahead, but I'm detecting Jem'Hadar vessels in the vicinity. I doubt they will allow us to reach the planet unscathed. Alright, so yes, we got Jem'Hadar attack ships to deal with here. I'm going to turn off
The
auto-fire.
Jem'Hadar will not likely be interested in negotiation. I'm afraid you'll have to fight your way through.
Turn down the volume here. It's still too loud. Yeah, so we're going to have to fight them to get around, so... I'm not sure we went over Jem'Hadar attack ships quite yet. Maybe, I'm not sure. But they're pretty easy. They're basically the frigate class of the Jem'Hadar. They don't have particularly powerful weapons, but they get a lot worse once you get to the higher levels of the ships against the Jem'Hadar. What's this weapon here? I forget. Antimatter spread. Not quite sure what that did, although this did something to them. I'll have to look at. I'll have to check later what those things do, but if I remember correctly, it does basically kind of what a sensor scramble does, and just kind of screws around with their sensors a little bit. Geez, they are not doing anything to us. That is the power of a exploration cruiser. They're barely putting a dent in any of our shields. Jeez, they did not stand a chance.
What a waste. Still, the nice thing about Jem'Hadar is that you can always breed more.
Sure, you can always breed more. That's always the mantra. So what does that thing do? It reduces perception for 9.3 seconds and adds a confuse debuff to them. It applies confuse immunity for 20 seconds. Disables area map for 9.3 seconds. So basically, they can't see you for a little bit. Basically, really useful if you are kind of the person who likes to cloak a lot. All right. So what do you got, sir? Use a heavy torpedo on them already. Not really do a whole lot. I thought they were attacking them for a second. Like, oh, they're gonna attack the torpedo, of course. They launched something. Oh, they're launching fighters. Wonderful. Just what I need right now. My weapons. I can't think today. Oh no, that was a boarding party. Shoot. Okay. Okay, so now they're doing a little bit to something to us. Okay. I need to get back up my shields real quick. I don't have a whole lot of shield repair abilities. But it's amazing how well the ship is performing regardless in this situation. I thought I launched a heavy plasma torpedo. I was like, I'm real close to that right there. Yeah, I decided to cut the rest of that out. It wasn't going anywhere.
To think, I will be the first Vorta to meet the new Link.
Of course, you would be the first Vorta that we meet the Link, of course. So there's some turrets in orbit that we need to destroy. I think it's over here, right? Yeah, the arrow is pointing there, so it'd be fine. But yeah, I decided to cut the rest of that because it really was pointless. It's kind of a regular old battle. Not really any point to showing it. Oh my god, there's a lot of turrets. I'm going to slow down here and let my energy, or my power divert a little bit real quick. Still a little slow. They have no shields though, so they should be pretty easy to take down. But you're going to want to focus on those turrets because with so many of them, they can actually be pretty devastating when they can. The attack ships are not going to be pretty much of any threat to you for now. You're going to want to focus on the turrets again because they can rack up damage very quickly, and then focus on the attack ships after which we just did. Well, the turrets, of course, but whatever. Oh, there was another turret there. Yep, tractor beam turret. Of course, there would be another turret on the other side of that thing I couldn't see. Take down this guy real quick. Come on, go down. There we go. Now for the tractor beam turret. That was very close, of course. Yeah, there's one more turret apparently. Can't see it. There it is. 4-round beam turret. There we go. These are gonna make us do a whole lot of stuff. We arrived at Riot Storm, detecting Jem'Hadar life sense, so we should be on our guard. As we probably should. Alright, so Orion 3 is actually a very pretty looking planet. It's kind of...
You have to admire the devotion of the Jem'Hadar. They never seem to tire of throwing their lives away for the Founders. There it is. It's even more beautiful than I imagined. To think my gods slumber below, dreaming in their link.
The way he describes it sounds like he's having an orgasm at this whole thing. But yes, Orius is actually very pretty. I think it's supposed to be reminiscent of some other planets that were featured in Deep Space Nine. In general, it's just like kind of a very pretty planet. Like the colors are like really, you know, the colors are surprisingly vibrant. Like there's little plants here that looks like there's little fungus growing that kind of looks like little fall leaves, because it's also fall here too at the time of recording this, which is convenient. But yes, so there's a Jem'Hadar guards all over the place, and we need to take them down, of course, because we need to get to that new link. I'm gonna cut this next little battle out real quick because it's really pointless. There we go. Or maybe not, because it didn't take too long. Okay, there we go. Wait, there's more. Right? Oh, there's one more. Yeah, there was a veteran who was in cloak real quick. Come on, there we go. Scan catcher soul white container. Also, sorry for my commentary's kind of like a little all over the place today. It's just this mission is kind of a bit weird when it comes to stuff like that. It's not really easy to commentate over. Catcher cell white. There we go. Trace elements of this batch. Catcher white confirms that it was manufactured in the facility on Devos.
It's almost sacrilegious to have you here. I hope the Founders will understand the necessity and forgive me.
Sacrilegious. That's how much he's devoted himself to those Founders. Although I still don't trust him as much as the characters in the game may seem. I can take this lockbox real quick. Not the hypo. Okay, I'll take the hypo. What are you doing? Putting a mine around me. But yes, every time he talks about them, he sounds like he's just, you know, gushing over them. And calling it sacrilegious is kind of a funny way to do it. It's kind of the early writing of the game is just a little bit weird sometimes. And one of them is in cloak. He probably put up a mine, which someone's going to most certainly walk into. Retrieve pad up here. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. It's sitting on the floor. Whoever finds this pad knows that you are reading what you're reading is an act of disobedience. And if you're reading this, I am most likely dead. We were programmed to believe that the Founders are gods, are infallible. But lately I've begun to question the Last's orders. Some of his explanations no longer make sense. For example, we have been monitoring the transmissions from local systems, and none of them have any mention of the crusade against the Founders. One of my brothers says he went to a facility where Ketracel White is manufactured. He said there was a Vorta there, but this Vorta is kept almost a prisoner, and does not command the Jem'Hadar there. Still, obedience brings victory, and victory is life. Who are we to question what motives of a god? And when a god lies, is he still a lie? Lamat Ukan. Okay. Down here at the bottom.
The other Vorta are going to be so envious when they hear about this.
Sure, we'll believe that when I believe it. I don't know. I'm going to cut down to the bottom of the hill here, and I'll be right back for that. Oh, wait, never mind. I did not know that Lamat Ukan would be up here so quickly. Okay. That's a bit of a problem. He has got a lot of health, and that's going to be a bit of an issue going into this, but he's not going down. He's going down pretty easily. Again, I'm just kind of commentating weirdly about it. I'm sorry. So reach lake. The lake kind of looks like it's like a puddle full of quicksand, which is interesting, although.
Have you come to finish the job of exterminating us, Solid? Impossible. We have linked with Lost. He is in the link as we speak. We know all that he knows. It is true that he awoke before us. Let us summon him to answer these charges.
It's true, Great One. These people are not hunting you. The Great Link remains. The Dominion has a treaty with the Alpha Quadrant species.
This creature lies. You have joined with me. You know all that I know.
Then you should have no qualms about linking.
No, these solids have poisoned your minds. I will not be forced to link by them.
Lost? Where's Lost? Oh, there he is. Just standing over there off to the side. Okay, so Lost is a changeling, and we've fought a changeling once before, but they are very difficult to take down because, well, they don't exactly have a whole lot of health, more or less. It's just that their defense stats are extremely high because they're not entirely solid. They're kind of a liquid of sorts. Again, don't get too close to them, otherwise they can really pull you in and start choking you, literally choking you to death. And that's when things can turn bad for you. Other than that, just keep firing on him. There he goes. He's kind of pulling in my, basically crushing my neck. And yeah, there we go. And now he's kind of reformed back into a normal changeling, into a form that we're more not so much familiar about. But while he's in this state, he's kind of getting off this kind of poisonous gas. So I would stay away from him if you can, because that will just cause damage that you don't need to have dealt to you at all. Kind of remember your double taps on your movement keys. That will kind of get you back away from him pretty quickly. And then Naaman is just kind of sitting there, cowering. And apparently someone made a phaser turret or medical generator. Don't know who did that, but thank you. Surprising he's not attacking it. Why are you going for her? Why did you want to go for her? Why not for me? I'm generating the most threat here. Why are you going? Okay. He's exploited again. Perception. There we go. Okay, you can go down now. There you go. I need to speak to the changeling over here.
Although it is unfortunate we had to resort to violence to force Lost into his liquid form, we are grateful for your assistance. We shall now be able to link with him and learn the whole truth of our past.
Oop, then I mean to skip ahead of that. Whoopsies. Okay. Well, it's fine.
Well, it has been a pleasure knowing you. I will remain here and serve the Founders. They have been without a Vorta and have much to learn about their siblings in the Gamma Quadrant. I know the Founders may seem ungrateful to you, but what can you expect from a god? Still, you have my gratitude for whatever the gratitude of an insignificant servant is worth.
All right, ready to beam up again. Very short mission, I know. They're not all going to be like that. Oh wait.
Although you have slain our brothers, we have orders to allow you to leave the system. But you are never to return. And let it be known among your peoples that this system belongs to us, and you are not welcome.
So we're going to launch a beacon to warn other ships not to approach the system. I found a good location. So yes, there's a beacon that we need to place, and there should be a nav marker somewhere around here that's going off. There it is. Kind of hard to see, but thankfully they kind of beep off to kind of tell you where they're supposed to be. So we need to we need to find have a place to place a beacon, so people don't go in here. Absolutely serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever to the main story. This is the last time we're ever going to be here anyway. But it's kind of launch the beacon. Launch the beacon. Do I have to be stopped? There we go. Apparently you have to be in a... Okay. Game's a little buggy right now. Configure beacon. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Cardassian Struggle complete. Warping out and through the beacon, which is also looks like a Klingon beacon, which is kind of funny. I like that a lot. Very funny. Okay, whatever. Report to Commander Sarish.
Congratulations! You have defeated the True Way and made peace with the Alpha Changelings. I have transmitted messages to the major powers of the galaxy, advising them to avoid the Arias system.
Okay. Chronoton torpedo launcher sounds nice.
Congratulations, Captain.
Alrighty, I'm gonna equip that torpedo launcher right quick so I don't forget, because that'll be very useful because everything we got so already is kind of, well, poor, of course, but... Alright, so that is it for the Cardassian Struggle story arc, and what are we starting next time? The Borg advance. Things are going to get tough here, because the Borg are not to be trifled with. There's a few missions in it, and they're kind of difficult to get around, but hey, that's what the Borg is for. Just kind of a threat that's difficult to defeat. Anyway, join me next time for more Star Trek Online, where we start the next mission, report on Borg activities, and probably where angels fear to tread. See you guys later.